The town of Stratham is performing a reassessment this year. Reassessments raise many questions amongst property owners. What is a reassessment? Why is a reassessment needed this year? What does the new assessment reflect? Will the final tax bill of this reevaluation increase my property taxes? This brief video will explain the reevaluation process and answer those questions. New Hampshire has historically rejected broad-based taxes, such as income tax or sales tax. Instead, New Hampshire most heavily relies on the property tax to fund local services from the town and county, as well as public education. New Hampshire law and good assessing practices require that the Select Board and the town assessor reassess all properties based on market value at least every 5 years. Your share of the tax burden is based on the assessment of your property. The nature of the value of real estate is that values change, and the reality is it rarely changes for every property type at the same rate, or for the same reasons. Basic fairness in property taxation requires that everyone pays based on the value of their property, and the reassessment resets all property to market value. Think of the total amount of taxes to be collected as a pie. Assessments do not determine the overall size of the pie. The size of the pie is determined by the budget and the amount of taxes that need to be collected. The assessment of your property determines your portion of the pie, your slice. A reassessment redetermines your portion based on the new market value. Let's take a moment to look at how this year's reassessment may shift the property tax burden to reflect the changes in different parts of the market. The first pie shows last year's breakdown by general property categories. This year's pie shows that the portions of each category may have changed. In this example reassessment, the values of all properties increased, but at different rates. The value of commercial and industrial properties increased, but at a slower rate than other categories of properties. Therefore, commercial and industrial's portion has decreased. Bottom line, everyone wants to know, will my taxes increase? If budgets remain the same, then the same amount of taxes need to be collected. During a reassessment, a shift in the share of the property tax burden tends to occur. Typically, a reassessment will increase a portion of taxes for a third of properties, cause no change for a third, and decrease a portion of taxes for a third of properties. Where do you fall? Once the reassessment process is completed and the total assessed value percentage increase of the town is known, you can estimate the impact on your portion of the taxes. If your percentage increase is the same as the total, then your portion of taxes will remain the same. If your percentage is more than the total, your portion is increasing. If your percentage is less, your portion is decreasing. Taxpayers are a part of the assessing process. If taxpayers notice a problem with their property description or value, they can bring it to the assessor's attention. We understand that all of your questions cannot be answered in this video, so for more information, go to the assessing office website at this link.